Hey folks, this is Kalani. The last phase of the Legion Remix event just went live, which means every reward is now available from this event, and there have been quite a few updates and adjustments that speed up leveling, gearing up and earning bronze, which means you can jump into Legion Remix right now and earn everything on offer, even if you haven't done anything in the event so far. There are so many rewards on offer and many of them will not be available after this event ends, so let's go over everything you can earn in the Legion Remix event, the most important things to focus on first, and how you can grab everything super quickly. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. First up, the easy stuff. The easiest rewards you can pick up come from the vendors scattered around the Infinite Bazaar. There's a vendor who sells all raid sets for every class for each Legion raid. These sets also unlock every colour variation from Raid Finder to Mythic for each set. Those will set you back 30,000 bronze each, but it is a lot of transmog that you get to unlock. This vendor also sells special rare items from Legion raid bosses. You can pick up the first Satyrs Spaulders, the Hammer of Vigilance, the Scythe of the Unmaker in blue and red colours, as well as Taishalak in two-handed and one-handed versions. Each one of these will require 20 of a special item that drops from the boss tied to these transmogs. So you need 20 horns of the first satyr from Xavius in the Emerald Nightmare to buy the Spaulders, you need 20 Fell-Warped Slab for the Hammer of Vigilance, and those come from the Maiden of Vigilance in the Tomb of Sargerai. Taishalak needs 20 Everflame of Hatred from Agramar in Antorus the Burning Throne, and the Scythe of the Unmaker requires 20 Cosmic Soul Slivers from Argus in Antorus the Burning Throne. You can get 1 item per boss kill on normal, 4 per kill on heroic, and 10 per kill on mythic. So you only need 2 mythic kills to buy each item, or 5 heroic kills, either of which shouldn't be too hard to achieve with the time we have left. Remember that raid resets are daily in Remix as well, so you could get all of these items in just 2 days if you really wanted to. After you've purchased your special transmog, the boss items can still be traded in for extra bronze, so it can be worth killing those bosses after you've bought whatever you want. You can pick up dungeon gear sets from the dungeon apparel vendor, and those will cost you 15,000 bronze each, so there's a lot more transmog to pick up there. The World Apparel vendor sells quest gear sets as well as some special ensembles like the World Defiler's battle armor and Fellslinger's battle armor. I would definitely look through these sets to see if anything looks good to you. The exclusive ensembles vendor has even more special sets to pick up that are only available in Legion Remix, including weapon transmogs like Odin's Spear, a whole bunch of different quivers, and a lot of Legion Remix specific recolors and transmog sets. Don't forget to pop by the Lost and Found apparel vendor for some extra gear sets that come from content outside of the Legion expansion, and Freddy Threads sells a whole bunch of cloak transmogs that match many of the Legion sets that you can buy from the other vendors. There's also a vendor for rare toys and pets. Some of these items are unobtainable or just incredibly rare in the retail game, so if you're a toy or pet collector, be sure to check out this vendor as well. There's also a vendor for mounts. There are a lot of Legion Remix specific mounts, so you can pick up rare mounts from the Legion expansion. As with everything else from these vendors, the rarer something is, the more bronze it's going to cost, but buying these mounts is significantly easier and faster than relying on a less than 1% drop rate. So if you really want the Infernals or the Charhounds or Uzul for example, this is the time to pick those up. When it comes to the Fell-themed class hall mounts, you have 2 choices. You can either buy them up from the vendor like every other reward so far, they'll cost you 20,000 bronze per mount, or you can level up each class to 80 in Legion Remix, and that will unlock the mounts for you without having to spend any bronze. So farm 20,000 bronze, or spend a few hours leveling a new character, whichever works best for you and your time schedule. Now the latest addition to the list of vendors is one for housing and decor. There's a lot of interesting decor on this vendor, but almost all of them have additional requirements, usually in the form of an achievement. If there's something specific that you want, just hover over it to see which achievement you need to complete to be able to buy them and focus on those. Remember that when you buy an item for housing, you're only buying 1 copy of it to place down, so if you want to have multiples of some of these items, you will have to buy more than 1, which could massively increase your bronze requirements depending on how much you're enjoying housing. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you're looking for some efficient ways to farm bronze to buy all of these items, killing the Lost Legion Infernals seems to be pretty good for your time spent, and you don't really need any gear or infinite power. You just have to be a bit careful and get your tags in. These spawn on the map as a green skull icon, and they can spawn back to back, so you can just focus on killing these if you really want to. I would recommend farming them in the Broken Shore zone because a lot of people are already there, and they seem to spawn a lot more often. Centenax farming is still a very good bronze farm, but it's more efficient in a group, and you definitely want some gear and power so you aren't stuck corpse running the entire time. So if you haven't been grinding in Legion Remix so far, maybe stick to the Lost Legion Infernals. Completing your daily research tasks and daily raid runs are still okay sources of bronze and are super fast if you have some geared players in the group. Now, there were also some pretty big buffs to various bronze sources, including raid bosses, a 1 per day drop from the Lost Legion Infernals, infinite research quests will reward more bronze now, Legion assaults reward a good chunk of bronze and occur way more often, emissary quests have a big bronze cache, and world bosses each drop 4,000 bronze. So earning bronze should be quite a bit easier now than when compared to before these hotfixes. It will still take an enormous amount of bronze to buy everything in this event, so I would focus on the items and transmogs that you really want first and pick up the rest later on. Anything that is only available from Legion Remix will be marked with a Legion Remix green text on the tooltip, so I would maybe focus on those as a priority after you pick up your must-haves first. But ultimately, this is all going to depend on you, how much bronze you can farm, and what items you really want to pick up. There are also a bunch of rewards tied to special achievements that are totally worth picking up, starting with the Sargerei Commander transmog sets. There are 4 different colours of this set. The green one comes from completing the To Felon Back achievement, which just requires you to complete the main story campaign for Legion Remix. This ends with the quest called Shape a New Legend, but basically if Eternus has a main story quest for you, just keep working through them until you get your green set. The purple one comes from completing world quests on the Heroic World tier. You need to complete 100 world quests and earn the Heroic Broken Isles World Quests 4 achievement, so this one is actually pretty easy. It's just a bit of a grind and quite tedious. World quests are also the only real time-limited content. You can only do so many of them per day per character, so if you leave this one too late, you might not actually get enough world quest resets to clear the 100 requirement, so do keep that in mind. The red one comes from completing a Mythic plus Keystone on plus 30 or above and earning the Time-Worn Keystone Hero. This is probably one of the harder achievements to get by yourself if you haven't been grinding out infinite power and gear, but you can usually find a few groups in the group finder that are carrying folks through and getting their transmog unlocked. And even for the title at a plus 40 Keystone run, I would avoid all of the groups that require payment or talk about tips. Plenty of groups are carrying for free these days. And then the yellow one comes from clearing every Legion Remix raid on Mythic difficulty and earning the achievement Mythic Legion Remix raids. So you'll need to clear the Emerald Nightmare, the Trial of Valor, the Nighthold, the Tomb of Sargeras, and Antorus the Burning Throne on Mythic difficulty. Honestly, this is much easier than it sounds. There are a lot of groups who run the Mythic raids every day, and most groups are happy to carry along lower geared players or new players. The bosses die so quickly that even Mythic raids are basically a walking simulator now. If you can clear Antorus on Mythic, you will also earn the Fellscorn Scythe of the Unmaker, a green fell version of the Argus' Scythe, which looks amazing, and if you can clear Mythic Trial of Valor without dying at all, you'll also earn the Deathless achievement for your armor class, which rewards you with the Mythic Chosen Dead transmog sets. There are 4 of these achievements, 1 for cloth, 1 for leather, 1 for mail, and 1 for plate, so you will have to play at least 4 different characters and clear Mythic Trial of Valor without dying on each one if you want every set on offer here. Another reward from the raids that you want to know about is the Violet Spellwing mount, which is a guaranteed reward from Heroic Antorus. This is currently unobtainable in the retail game. It was an old ahead of the curve achievement mount, so if you don't get it during Legion Remix, you might not be able to get it again. All you have to do is kill Argus on Heroic mode at least once, and that will give you the Blood of the Unmaker quest item. Just accept the quest and go turn it into Khadgar in Dalaran and you'll get your mount. It's not just raids though, you can also pick up some special rewards for completing outdoor world content. Each zone has a meta achievement and they all reward something different. Azuna rewards you with the Warden's Companion Owl Pet, Val'Sharah rewards you with the Fell Shatter Weapon Illusion which has some very cool effects, High Mountain rewards you with the Dusky Tooth Fell Snooter Pet, Stormheim rewards you with the Sinister Fell Arsenal which includes a dagger, a staff, a one-handed sword and a wand transmog, Suramar rewards you with the Calderai Queen's Royal Vestments transmog set, which is probably one of the more unique rewards on offer from this event, so I would focus on this one for sure. The Broken Shore will reward you with the Fallen King's Corrupted Blades, a Fel-infused Charlemagne ensemble which includes a two-handed sword, and each half of the blade as a one-handed transmog option. Very, very cool. And then Argus rewards you with the Bulwark of Manaroth, a shield and back transmog option which looks like Manaroth's chest plate. You only have to complete some of the achievements listed for each meta achievement. It's either 2 or 3 depending on the zone. I would personally recommend the Looking for Group and the Tour achievements. You just have to clear the dungeons and raids for each zone, explore the zone, kill some rares and loot some treasures. That's probably the fastest way to earn the meta achievements and their associated rewards, especially if you're starting from scratch. Now, I know that's a lot to keep track of, but thankfully there is a useful add-on you can use to help you tick everything off in a nice, neat manner. Legion Remix Helper provides you with a collection UI frame that looks exactly like the base UI, but it tracks all things Legion Remix and shows you what you've picked up or earned so far, and what you still have left to acquire. If you hover over the items that you don't have yet, it will also tell you where you can pick them up, and you can even quickly open any relevant achievements, which is really nice. In this add-on settings, you also have the option to hide any items on the vendors that you already have unlocked, so you can very easily see which items you still have left to buy on each vendor. If you still have some time left after all of that, there are some other things that you can pick up from Legion Remix, like teleport spells to several Legion dungeons. If you complete the Blackrook Hold, the Court of Stars, the Darkheart Thicket, the Halls of Valor, or Neltharian's Lair on a +20 or above, you'll earn the Keystone Hero achievements for those dungeons, which includes a teleport spell straight to the dungeon entrance, and these should carry over to the retail game, so if you missed these portals in the past, now is the perfect time to pick them up. You can also collect most artifact appearances by completing various types of content, including the hidden appearances. Some of these hidden ones are actually easier to collect in Remix as well, thanks to vendor items or reduced RNG. Tracking artifact appearances in Remix can be particularly annoying, so I would recommend installing the Remix Artifact Tracker add-on. This provides you with a neat little UI element where you can view your artifact appearances, see which ones you've collected in Remix and which ones you have already unlocked. For any hidden artifact appearances, I would check the Wowhead guides and follow those. I'll give you a link to these in the description below. One of them goes over the original ways to obtain hidden appearances, while the other notes any specific changes for Legion Remix. Now, one question I've seen asked a lot about Legion Remix right now is it too late to start? If you haven't been grinding away every day, running the raids and getting the gear, can you still get all of these cool rewards from the event? And the answer to that question is absolutely. The most recent update for Legion Remix introduced a bunch of catch-up mechanics for almost every part of the system. The Research Task Daily Quests now provide a 3% bonus experience gains buff that can be stacked up to 10 times, so leveling is even faster now, even if you're working on your very first Remix character. And then gearing up at max level is so much faster now too. More gear drops in general from pretty much every source, but there's also a new item called Flawless Threads of Time, which you can combine into even higher item level gear than before. These threads drop from all content, and scrapping gear will yield quite a lot of them as well, so as you upgrade and replace gear, you're going to get even more threads to just keep going and going. And this may be anecdotal, but it feels like the gear generated from these threads jumps item levels much faster than it used to, so you should zoom through the item levels very quickly. With the most recent hotfixes that we talked about earlier, you can now earn significantly more bronze from almost every source as well, so you'll actually be earning bronze much faster than the folks who are playing for the last few months, which should help you buy up all of those expensive vendor transmog sets, mounts and other goodies. Most of these achievements and rewards also don't really require you to be totally maxed out in infinite power or item level yourself, so no, it's not too late to get started with Legion Remix. Jump in, have some fun and collect a bunch of rewards. The Legion Remix event will run until January 19th, so you still have plenty of time to get things done. But that's the most important things to do before the Legion Remix event ends, so that's it for this video. Which rewards are you going to make sure you absolutely pick up? How do you feel about the Legion Remix event as a whole, and which expansion would you like to see remixed next? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.